Over 60, take a look in the mirror. What do you see? For most of us, it's that shimmering silver creeping in, strand by strand. We're told it's inevitable. We're told it's just genetics. We're told to accept it gracefully, or cover it up with chemicals. But here's what most dermatologists won't tell you during a 10-minute appointment. Grey hair is not always just a sign of aging. For many people, especially those over 60, grey hair is actually a chemical signal. A message from your body telling you that you may be missing specific nutrients, or that you have too much of a natural bleaching agent building up inside your hair follicles. Yes, your body produces its own bleach, and as we age, our ability to neutralize it declines. Now, I want to be upfront with you. I'm not going to promise you'll have jet black hair again in 30 days. That's not how biology works. But here's what science does support. When grey hair is caused by nutritional deficiencies, particularly vitamin B12, copper, or chronic oxidative stress, addressing these root causes may help slow down and in some cases partially reverse the graying process. In this video, we're going to expose the potential risks of conventional hair dyes that no one talks about. We will break down the fascinating science of why your hair loses its color, and we will reveal 5 evidence-based nutrients and the #1 mineral-rich morning drink that may support your body's natural pigmentation system. One of these solutions costs less than $5 at any grocery store, and thousands of people in natural health communities have reported remarkable results. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt pressured to dye your hair, or have you embraced the silver? Tell us your story in the comments. We read every single one. Now let's understand what's really happening to your hair. First, let's have an honest conversation about conventional hair dyes. When we notice grey hair, our first instinct is often to cover it up. We grab a box of natural black or chestnut brown, apply it, endure the chemical smell, and walk out feeling 10 years younger. But is that the whole story? Many permanent hair dyes contain a cocktail of chemicals. Among the most scrutinized are PPD, also known as p-phenylenediamine, and ammonia derivatives. Now here's where I need to be balanced with you. A study published in the International Journal of Cancer by researchers at USC found an association between long-term use of permanent hair dyes and increased bladder cancer risk in some populations. However, and this is important, a later meta-analysis published in JAMA in 2005, which reviewed multiple studies, found that the overall evidence was inconsistent. What does this mean for you? It means the science isn't settled, but it also means there's enough concern that it's worth considering alternatives, especially if you're dyeing your hair monthly for decades. Your scalp is highly absorbent. When chemicals sit on your head for 30 to 40 minutes, they don't just stay on the hair shaft. Some absorption into the bloodstream does occur. The question to ask yourself is this: is covering up grey hair worth the potential risk, especially when there might be ways to address it from the inside out? Let me explain what's actually happening inside your hair follicles. To address grey hair, you first need to understand how it happens. And the science is actually fascinating. Think of your hair follicle as a biological printer. At the base of each follicle, there are specialized cells called melanocytes. These are your ink cartridges. They produce melanin, the pigment that gives your hair its color, whether that's black, brown, red, or blonde. When you're young, this system works beautifully. The ink flows, and your hair emerges with vibrant color. But as you age, 2 things happen. First, the melanocytes gradually become less efficient at producing pigment. This is a natural aging process. Second, and this is the discovery that changed our understanding, your body starts accumulating a natural bleaching agent in the hair follicle. That agent is hydrogen peroxide. Yes, the same compound you might use to disinfect a wound. Your body produces it naturally as a byproduct of cellular metabolism. When you're young, your body produces an enzyme called catalase. Think of catalase as your cleanup crew. It breaks down hydrogen peroxide into harmless water and oxygen before it can damage the melanin. Here's the key finding. A groundbreaking 2009 study published in the FACEB journal by researchers led by Dr. Karin Schallreuter found that as we age, catalase levels in our hair follicles decline significantly. Without this cleanup crew, hydrogen peroxide accumulates. It literally bleaches your hair from the inside out. This is called oxidative stress, and it's a major contributor to gray hair. So here's the takeaway. Your hair isn't just turning gray. In many cases, it's being bleached by your own body because you lack sufficient enzymes and nutrients to stop the process. The logical solution? Support your body's antioxidant defenses and ensure you're not deficient in key nutrients. Here are the 5 evidence-based approaches, ranked from good to best. Solution number 5. Supporting your body's antioxidant defenses. Now I need to clarify something important. You can't simply eat catalase and expect it to work. Enzymes get broken down during digestion. However, eating foods rich in antioxidants helps your body manage oxidative stress overall. This may help preserve whatever catalyst your body is still producing and reduce the hydrogen peroxide burden. The champions of this category are cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and kale. Orange vegetables like sweet potatoes and carrots are also excellent because they're rich in beta-carotene. And don't forget leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard. A particularly underrated option is radishes, including horseradish. They're rich in compounds that support antioxidant activity. Here's a practical tip. Try what I call the antioxidant support salad. It's grated carrots, sliced radishes, and chopped broccoli, dressed with extra virgin olive oil. Aim for this 3 to 4 times per week. But antioxidants alone aren't enough. Your melanin production system needs a critical mineral to function. That brings us to solution number 4. And by the way, solution number 1 is something you probably walk past every time you're at the grocery store. It costs less than a cup of coffee. Stay tuned. Solution number 4. Copper, the mineral catalyst. This is perhaps the most overlooked mineral when it comes to hair color. Remember the melanocytes we talked about? They need an enzyme called tyrosinase to produce pigment. And tyrosinase requires copper as a cofactor to function. Without adequate copper, the tyrosinase enzyme essentially goes dormant. It's like having a car with a full tank of gas, but no spark plug. A study published in Biological Trace Element Research found that individuals with premature graying had significantly lower serum copper levels compared to those with normally pigmented hair. So what are the best food sources of copper? Number 1 is beef liver, the absolute richest source. Just 3 ounces once a week can meet your copper needs. Number 2 is shiitake mushrooms, an excellent plant-based option. Number 3 is cashews and other nuts. Number 4 is dark chocolate with 70% or higher cocoa content. Yes, there's a health excuse for chocolate. And number 5 is oysters and shellfish. Here's a documented observation. In clinical practice, dermatologists have noted that patients who correct copper deficiency through diet sometimes report that new hair growth appears darker than before. This isn't universal, but it has been observed. Now, an important warning. Do not take copper supplements without medical supervision. Copper toxicity is real and dangerous. Stick to food sources. Your body regulates absorption much better from whole foods. Next, we address the silent factor that accelerates hair graying faster than almost anything else. Solution number 3, managing chronic stress. When you're stressed, your body pumps out cortisol. We know cortisol damages the heart and expands the waistline. But did you know it can accelerate hair graying? A landmark 2020 study from Harvard University, published in the journal Nature, demonstrated this dramatically. Researchers found that acute stress activates the sympathetic nervous system, which damages the melanocyte stem cells in hair follicles. Here's the sobering part. Once those stem cells are damaged, they don't regenerate. The graying becomes permanent in those follicles. This is why high-stress professions often correlate with rapid graying. It's not just coincidence. So what are the evidence-based stress management approaches? First, regular physical activity. Even 30 minutes of walking reduces cortisol. Second, deep breathing exercises. Just 5 to 10 minutes of intentional breathing daily can make a difference. Third, adequate sleep. 7 to 8 hours is non-negotiable. Fourth, vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, citrus fruits, and strawberries. Vitamin C helps regulate cortisol and combats oxidative stress. Now, a note on herbal supplements. You may have heard of ashwagandha or fotai, also known as he shou wu, for hair health. While some preliminary studies suggest these herbs may help with stress adaptation, I must give you a critical safety warning. Fotai has been linked to serious liver damage, including acute liver failure. The FDA and NIH have documented multiple cases. Unless you're under direct supervision of a qualified practitioner who monitors your liver function, I strongly recommend avoiding it. Ashwagandha is generally safer, but can also cause liver issues in rare cases and may interact with thyroid medications. My recommendation is to stick to lifestyle modifications and well-studied nutrients rather than unregulated herbal supplements. Now let's talk about the vitamin deficiency that dermatologists actually test for when patients present with premature graying. Solution number 2. B-complex vitamins, especially B12. This is the most well-documented nutritional cause of reversible gray hair. There's a condition called pernicious anemia, caused by B12 deficiency, and one of the earliest symptoms, often appearing before the anemia itself, is premature graying. Here's why. B vitamins are essential for red blood cell production, which carries oxygen and nutrients to your hair follicles. If your follicles are suffocating, they prioritize survival over pigment production. Here's a critical fact for seniors. As we age, our stomach acid production decreases, making it harder to absorb B12 from food. Studies suggest up to 20% of adults over 60 may be B12 deficient without knowing it. There's a documented case worth mentioning. The International Journal of Trichology has published case studies of patients with B12 deficiency whose gray hair showed visible repigmentation after several months of B12 supplementation. This doesn't happen for everyone, but it demonstrates that nutritional causes of graying can be addressable. What are the best food sources of B vitamins? First, eggs. Eat the whole egg because the yolk contains B vitamins and biotin. Second, salmon and fatty fish. Third, fortified nutritional yeast, which is excellent for vegetarians. You can sprinkle it on popcorn, salads, or soups. Fourth, beef and poultry. And fifth, dairy products. Here's an action step for you. If you have gray hair plus fatigue, tingling in your hands and feet, or difficulty concentrating, ask your doctor to check your B12 levels. A simple blood test can identify deficiency. All right, we've covered antioxidants, copper, stress, and B vitamins. But now we arrive at the number one solution. Something people in natural health communities have been talking about for decades. It combines multiple nutrients we've discussed into one tablespoon. And fair warning, it's an acquired taste. Solution number 1. Blackstrap molasses, the mineral-rich morning drink. Now, before I explain why this is number 1, I need to be completely transparent with you. There are no clinical trials specifically studying blackstrap molasses and gray hair reversal. None. Zero. So why am I featuring it? Because of two things: the nutritional profile and the volume of anecdotal reports. Let me explain. Blackstrap molasses is the thick, dark byproduct of sugarcane refining. When sugarcane is processed to extract white sugar, all the minerals get concentrated in the molasses. 1 tablespoon of blackstrap molasses contains approximately 20% of your daily iron, which is essential for oxygen transport to hair follicles. It also contains 10 to 14% of your daily copper, the tyrosinase activator we discussed earlier. Plus, it has magnesium, calcium, potassium, B6, and selenium. It's essentially a mineral concentrate that addresses several potential deficiencies at once. Now, about the anecdotal evidence. In natural health forums and communities, thousands of people have shared before and after experiences of taking 1 tablespoon daily for 3 to 6 months and noticing darker roots growing in. Is this placebo? Is it confirmation bias? Is it genuine? We honestly don't know without proper studies. But here's my perspective. Blackstrap molasses is an inexpensive whole food source of minerals that are scientifically linked to hair pigmentation. At worst, you're getting beneficial minerals. At best, you might be one of the people who sees improvement. Here's how to take it. Mix 1 tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses into a cup of warm, not hot, water. Add half a lemon. The vitamin C helps your body absorb the iron. Drink this every morning before breakfast. Fair warning, it tastes earthy, slightly bitter, and has a strong flavor. Think of it as a health tonic, not a treat. Many people report the taste grows on them after a week or two. Who should not take this? Diabetics should check with their doctor first, because it does contain some natural sugars. And anyone with iron overload conditions like hemochromatosis should avoid it. All right, let's bring everything together. Here's your 30-day hair restoration support protocol. For weeks 1 through 4, here are your daily habits. Every morning, drink warm water with 1 tablespoon of blackstrap molasses and half a lemon's juice. At breakfast, include eggs with the yolk, or add nutritional yeast to your meal. 3 to 4 times per week, eat the antioxidant support salad made with carrots, radishes, broccoli, and olive oil. Once per week, eat 1 serving of beef liver. Or if you prefer, snack on cashews and dark chocolate daily. Every day, spend 10 minutes doing deep breathing or meditation for stress management. And consider getting your B12 levels tested, especially if you have fatigue or other symptoms. Here's what to stop or reduce. If possible, pause or reduce chemical hair dye use while you give this protocol a chance. Reduce refined sugar and processed foods because they increase oxidative stress. And minimize chronic stress triggers where you can. Now let me set realistic expectations. Your hair grows approximately ½ an inch per month. You will not see changes in 30 days. The 30-day protocol is about establishing the habits. Real results, if they occur, typically appear in the 3 to 6 month range, when enough new hair has grown out to notice a difference at the roots. And I want to be honest, this won't work for everyone. If your grey hair is primarily due to genetic programming of melanocyte stem cell depletion, these nutritional interventions may slow the process but won't fully reverse it. However, if your greying has a nutritional component, which is more common than most people realize, you're giving your body the raw materials it needs. Grey hair is not a life sentence. For many people, it's a message. Listen to your body, nourish it with what it needs, and you may be surprised by the results. Now I want to hear from you. Are you going to try the blackstrap molasses morning drink? Do you have a family secret for maintaining hair color? Have you successfully reversed any grey hair naturally? Share your story in the comments below. We read every single comment and often reply with personalized suggestions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us reach more seniors who need this information. And subscribe to this channel for more evidence-based health tips that go beyond what you hear in a typical doctor's visit. Stay healthy, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.